Hello, Spider-Man enthusiasts. We are once again stepping into an era where we can expect regular updates about the upcoming Spider-Man film, and that's precisely what I'm here to share with you today. It appears we've just discovered which Marvel character will join Tom Holland's Spider-Man in Spider-Man Brand New Day. This isn't solely about my perspective. I want to hear from you, as we're still entangled in a significant web of uncertainty regarding what's truly unfolding in this movie. Even this latest piece of news is still a surprise. I'm quite confused about the developments in this film. And that's somewhat thrilling, so please remember to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and, well, let's dive right in. Now, the information we received today comes from Nexus Point News, which is a highly trustworthy source online. I've been keeping an eye on them for some time, and whenever they release something, it tends to be accurate. I've reached a point where I essentially consider their statements as truth, and it's only a matter of days before the studio officially verifies it. Similar to the Elden Ring movie that was confirmed this week, just last week, Nexus Point News was the first to inform us. So, what they're revealing today is that Mark Ruffalo is expected to reprise his role as Bruce Banner in Spider-Man Brand New Day, and this doesn't seem to be just a cameo or brief appearance, no. It's reported that he will have a significant role. The article states, and I quote, "It is currently unknown what role Banner will play in the story or whether he'll also be portraying his alternate green persona. Nexus Point News can confirm Bruce Banner's appearance will be much larger than a cameo, and Ruffalo will have a substantial role in the film. And, well, if they're indicating that Bruce Banner, the Hulk, plays a significant role in this movie, we understand, ladies and gentlemen. The Hulk is set to be the team-up character for Spider-Man Brand New Day. This has always been a trend with the Spider-Man films. Since Sony and Marvel collaborated to share Spider-Man within the MCU, Sony insists on including at least one major Marvel character in their Spider-Man movies. Honestly, I have to admit initially, when this concept emerged, I was quite thrilled and thought it was exciting. However, recently it has started to feel like a burden to a Spider-Man film. The imposition of a mentorship or team-up dynamic, I believe, sometimes detracts from Spider-Man's essence. But hey, Sony insists on including it as they really want to remind the audience, hey, we're part of the MCU too. So it appears that it's going to be Bruce Banner or the Hulk. There are numerous perspectives we can consider regarding this. Let's begin by addressing whether we feel let down. I won't lie, there's a part of me that feels a bit disappointed. I was really hoping for a Daredevil Spider-Man team-up movie. It seemed perfectly set up at the conclusion of Daredevil Born Again, where Wilson Fisk Kingpin has now banned vigilantes in New York. It would have provided a perfect rationale for Kingpin to recruit various villains to target Daredevil and Spider-Man, attempting to imprison them. I believe the narrative would have unfolded seamlessly. Plus, we already had a Daredevil set up in No Way Home, but they opted not to pursue that. Hopefully there will be another sequel where Daredevil can shine and we can witness that Spider-Man/Daredevil collaboration. On the flip side, the Hulk and Spider-Man? I don't think that's an outrageous pairing. I believe many people who grew up in the past have always wished to see Spider-Man and the Hulk interact. Even in the comics, there are numerous memorable moments between these two characters. In a way, it seems like a classic duo, but also consider this: have Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Mark Ruffalo's Hulk ever shared a scene in any of the MCU films. Think about the Avengers movies, the team-up films, the crossovers. I can't recall a single moment where the Hulk and Spider-Man converse with each other. For instance, in No Way Home, when Spider-Man bravely approaches Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum to request a spell, there was an established relationship there. That worked well. But Bruce and Peter? Nothing at all. So I'm genuinely interested in how they will find a way to organically have Spider-Man and the Hulk want to hang out or team up. I have a few theories, and so does the internet. For one, I honestly wouldn't be shocked, because Marvel enjoys these quirky scenarios, if Professor Hulk, the intelligent version of Hulk, becomes a real professor at a college. The same college that Peter Parker will attend in Spider-Man Brand New Day. That's a situation where, I don't mind it. The Hulk needs to make a living somehow. He can't solely be fighting crime or conducting gamma experiments on his own. He has to cover his expenses. Why not, in his free time, work at a university, either as Smart Hulk or Bruce Banner, and teach a class with Peter as one of his students? There could be potential there. I mean, I've always enjoyed the science bros interactions between Tony Stark and Bruce Banner in the early Avengers films. I'd love to see some bro science exchanges between Peter Parker and Bruce Banner. I really enjoy seeing this side of Peter, his geeky, nerdy persona. If there are a few moments where we can witness him geeking out like that, I would be thrilled to see it, especially if Bruce can assist him with his tech now that Peter has to handle that on his own, since he no longer has Tony Stark's wealth and those big, expensive machines to create any suit he desires at any time. And that leads me to another fan theory that many people are discussing, and you'll likely see this image spreading rapidly across the internet. There's a comic panel where, in the comics, A similar event occurs. Spider-Man causes the world to forget his identity. However, one of the few characters who still remembers is the Hulk. Bruce Banner may forget, but the Hulk retains the memory. And considering that this concept is now part of the movies, a spell that makes everyone forget Peter Parker's Spider-Man, perhaps the Hulk still remembers, just like in the comic. This kind of dynamic could potentially work in the film. Peter could finally confide in someone saying, "Dude, you remember, everyone knew me, I was a big deal, and now I can't reveal who I am to anyone." I'm not sure. There might be something to that, but I feel like it's a bit of a stretch. Just because it occurred in the comics doesn't mean I would necessarily want it to happen in the movie, but sure, it could be a possibility. Another point people are mentioning is this: since we still believe this will be a street-level film, there's talk about the street-level version of the Hulk Joe Fix-It. Keep in mind, we're hearing that Spider-Man Brand New Day might feature characters like Tombstone, Scorpion, Boomerang, and if you want to incorporate the Hulk into that, why not introduce one of his alter egos, Joe Fix-It, where the Hulk was a bit smaller, gray in color, and somewhat like a mob boss who managed some underground crime. That's a version of the Hulk that actually existed. I recall having a Joe Fix-It toy when I was a child, but I'm telling you, I just can't wrap my head around how you make that make sense. Like, how can you simply say, "Oh, by the way, he's gray now. Put on a flashy suit. Well, this is him now. Enjoy, Peter." Once again, just because it occurred in the comics doesn't imply it will seamlessly transition to live action. You require some form of setup for that to function. And at this moment, I just don't understand how you can randomly turn the Hulk into Joe Fix-It. And I mean, that's also been an issue with the Hulk, right? We want a Savage Hulk back. We desire the angry, chaotic Hulk. That's genuinely the Hulk I'd prefer to see interact with Spider-Man. I don't want to witness him converse with Professor Hulk. I don't even want to see Maestro because I know some folks have mentioned that the post-apocalyptic evil future version of Hulk. I've noticed some people suggest, since Mr. Negative is still likely to be one of the main villains of this movie with his abilities and what he can do, perhaps he'll use them on the Hulk and create this mental imbalance that brings back Savage Hulk. And there are additional reports not from the original source, just what others have started adding on after this article was published, that the Hulk could potentially become a secondary antagonist. And, you know, that does happen sometimes. Consider Spider-Man No Way Home, where a significant portion of that movie involved Spider-Man battling Doctor Strange. That's just something that occurs in team films. Even though they're heroes, it's always entertaining to see them clash with one another and how their powers contrast. Maybe Mr. Negative is in the film, finds a way to unleash Savage Hulk, which, yes please, and then Spider-Man has to subdue him, calm him down, and fight him. I would gladly watch a fight scene featuring Spider-Man and the Hulk, particularly if it were directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, the filmmaker behind this movie, who did an incredible job with Shang-Chi. I believe he will create some truly spectacular set pieces and action sequences in this film. I find it fascinating. I recall being a child and always dreaming of seeing the Hulk and Spider-Man together on screen. While this may not have been my top choice, I preferred a Daredevil and Spider-Man crossover. A Hulk and Spider-Man collaboration? When you really consider it, the scientific elements, the contrast between the big guy and the small guy, the humorous chemistry they could share, I'm all for it. This could turn out to be exciting. However, I still wonder, what exactly is this movie about? What's going on? Are they planning to introduce the Hulk's son? I really don't want Hulk's son to be part of this film. Anyway, this is why I'm passing it on to you all. You see this news that it seems the Hulk will be the character teaming up. Are you pleased with this? What theories can you come up with? How do you think it will fit into the narrative? What do you hope to see? Leave a comment. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and as always, I'm Andrew. Take care.